I don't want to be here.
I don't want to be doing the show.
Is it 5 o'clock yet?
Almost. We're almost there.
So unmotivated. How do I get out of this slump?
Let's talk about that. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Unmissed Connections. I'm Chris.
Randy.
And we're here to talk about, again, unmissed connections, the best practices and worst practices that we've seen when it comes to B2B sales, and the new innovative technologies that help facilitate those sales and speed those up. So, Randy, we were talking the other day, there was something you mentioned to me that really stuck out. And when it comes to missing connections, a lot of it comes down to your attitude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think fundamentally, we get into very granular details about why people miss connections. They didn't have the right message, or they didn't expose the value or identify the pain. There's all sorts of stuff we're talking about. But if you're not in the right mindset from the get-go, you're going to miss a lot of connections. Mm-hmm. I think everybody has slumps, right? Some of the greatest businesses, sports heroes in history have had slumps, right?
Sure.
Great Bambino. I'm dating myself here. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team, right? There's a slump.
Big Papi.
There you go.
He had a slump, what was it, like 4 or 5 years ago? He wasn't hitting any home runs for a while.
I remember when Microsoft was crushing Apple, right?
Yep.
So I think the important thing is salespeople have slumps too, and someone wins, either you or the slump.
So, Randy, actually, even in your book, you wrote, there's a rule in there about getting over the slump.
Outlasting your slump.
It's
rule number 90.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
As I said, every sales guy has slumps. I've had a million of them. The question is, can you outlast it, right? And I think a lot of people feel like salespeople are lucky, or in life, different people are lucky.
Yeah.
And I am just a firm believer that you create your own luck. I think the definition I got from luck is where preparation meets opportunity, right? So if you're not prepared with the right attitude, which is something you can control, right? You can't necessarily control when the prospect is going to reach back out or be ready for a meeting or raise their hand and be ready to buy.
Yeah.
But what you can control is whether or not you're prepared for it when it happens, and whether or not you have the right attitude in order to be in the right place at the right time, right?
No, you're absolutely right. So obviously you think attitude it's very important in sales.
Yeah, attitude and work ethic. It's the only two things you can control, right?
Yeah,
you can't control the weather. Can't control a lot of things.
That could be coming. Who knows?
That could be coming. No, I define sales, and I've been doing this for many years. I personally define sales as the transfer of enthusiasm from one person to another. So this awesome coffee mug of yours, if you were going to try to sell it to me, right? Hey, kitty, 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 kitty. If you want to sell it to me, you got to get me excited about it, right?
It's exciting. Look at this. Everyone loves this cat. It's a beautiful cat. You got to tell a story about this. You know who gave this?
You're doing it right now. Who gave it to you?
My mother did. It was one of the best gifts she's ever given me.
See what you're doing? You're transferring enthusiasm over to me. So I have a question for those of you at home. How can you transfer something you don't have?
That's a valid point.
Got to be enthusiastic. Got to have the right attitude. If you have the right attitude and the right enthusiasm at the right time, you will not miss that connection.
So, Randy, when it comes to actually motivating, you've managed sales teams for, 10 years?
Ever?
Forever. You've been in that seat. You've had to motivate a sales team. You guys hit your slumps. You had bad quarters.
That's the key. I've been managing myself forever, right?
Yeah.
Even before I ever managed people. And so you got to learn to manage your own attitude. And
Sure.
One of the biggest tips I give people, especially in this outlasting your slump, getting through a slump, getting in the right place mentally to be able to create your own luck, you've got to not look for perfection, but just progression. So something I talk to salespeople about all the time is, striving for progression over perfection.
Yeah.
I think early in my career, I heard the quote, or somebody said, "Oh, practice makes perfect."
Yeah.
And that's not actually true. Practice does not make perfect, because if you're practicing it the wrong way, you're never going to get good, right?
Yeah.
So perfect practice makes perfect, right? And so when I talk to salespeople specifically about progression over perfection, the lesson is don't measure yourself against everyone else in the team. Just measure yourself against yourself, right? So is today's you better than yesterday's you? Mm-hmm. Or, for instance, you don't have to make as many calls as the number one guy in the team, but can you make one more call today than you did yesterday?
Yeah.
Can you get one more sale this quarter than you did last quarter? Can you, for instance, come in an hour earlier, stay an extra later today than you did yesterday? Yeah. Anything you can do to measure and use the measuring stick of yourself against yourself, that's going to help you constantly get better. And that's where you'll constantly end up, striving to get in the right place mentally to be outlasting those slumps.
Well, Randy, fantastic insights. And the question we have for you, for the audience, is are you a salesperson? Have you run into these slumps? What's the best way or best practice or something that you found that's gotten you out of those slumps? Or are you a manager that manages a team? What have you found that has worked for your team? Is it monetary gains? Is it more competitive gamification? What have you done for your team? We just want to know what you guys have found that has been successful to pull your team out of that bad mojo.
And like I said earlier, everyone has slumps. You might be in customer success. You might be an engineer. No matter how you stumbled upon this video, the bottom line is we want to know how you outlast your slumps.
Thank you very much. Please give us a like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next episode.